Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today MQTT Mosquitto Broker part 3. In the part 1 I show you how to do basic installation without encryption and the password of Mosquitto Broker. But today I would like to show you how to do all the configurations so you got encrypted connection using SSL certificates. So I will be creating all these certificates: certificate authority, server certificates, and the client certificates, and then send them to the broker machine and show you how to set up config file and etc. Basically, they recommend to create all these certificates on a different machine which is not connected to the internet later on. So what you can do, you can use a Raspberry Pi, for example, do your certificates, and then after all pull the micro SD card and keep the micro SD card separate and possibly use that Raspberry Pi for different purpose. I will be using a virtual machine on my Proxmox server, so I don't have to install it on my Raspberry Pi, on any of my Raspberry Pis, but basically it's easier for me just to create the virtual machine for the video. For the real certificates I got my separate Raspberry Pi. So also you don't have to use this way. You can create those certificates on the same machine as you have your broker, but basically they not recommend this kind of setup because they say it's safer if you do it on the separate machine. So I will be doing the right way as they recommend. So basically what I would like to say, this website is have an error, so is one step is missing from on this website. I found the better website is Steve Internet Guide website. He basically showing how to do it, but he using a Windows machine. It's not a problem. The steps are practically the same, so I will leave to the links for those two websites in the description below, so you can refer to it. It's always easy to find it. I got my text file, so I can copy paste. So how we're gonna start? We need to log in as root to the machine which we will be creating the certificates. You can't do any other way. You must log it as a root. So usually Ubuntu doesn't come with possibility to log in as a root. You just create your username when you start your server. So to do that, you need to change the SSH config file. So let me show you how to do it. And then once you use up and down buttons, you need to add this line, permit root login yes, and then save and exit, and then you will be able to add the password. So sudo pass root, paste this, then it will ask you for the password. You need to confirm the password, restart SSH, and then you will be able to log in as a root. So you need to do this unless you know how to, unless you done before, basically. So then we will need to install openssl. Technically we don't need to install it. It's probably pre-installed. Once you install your Ubuntu, it's there and it's running. So, but just in case, you can always paste this command to make sure. Then create a new directory. MQTT SSL is my directory. You don't have to call it this way. You can call it whatever you wish. Maybe call it as the name description, basically. Then move to this directory and then create ck pair, create ca certificates. So let me do these steps. Type your passphrase. And now it will be asking you all these lines: country name, state of province, locality, etc. So basically, when you're creating it, make sure you put the correct stuff. You can put anything like this. I live in Great Britain, so I put GB. I'm in London, so I put London. I live in South London, so I put South. I just make it easy. And then all this first three, and then those last two, email and the common name, must be the same for all the certificates you create. You will be creating next the server certificate, and then basically if you want the client certificates, you will be creating the client certificate. So basically these lines, first one and last two, must be the same for all the certificates. Then again, make sure don't put the IP address here, because it's not gonna work with the IP address. So you need to put host name or domain name. So basically I put MQTT SSL because I got Pi-hole with DNS server on board, so I create the local domain name. So I can use this domain name. So this must be the same as well for all the certificates. So let me finish this one. And again, I just made a mistake. Best to basically copy this stuff, create it first and then copy. So, because if you made a mistake and then, let me go to terminal. If you made a mistake, you may not see it, and one letter wrong, and your certificate may not work properly. Once you do this, best to create another text file and copy this and paste it, because what happened to me when I was trying to set up, I basically done different mistake, but I wasn't sure. Maybe I done something wrong when I was filling all this, and I couldn't go back to have a look. So once you copy for each certificate and then save that text file for later on, if something doesn't work, you can go back to it and have a look. Did you fill it properly? So this is what I think is best to do. So okay, we got this. So now we will create a server key. leave this to blank. So next thing, use the ca to certificate to sign the broker certificate. Basically, paste this command. This 360 means how long it's valid, the certificate. It will expire, so it will stop working basically. This is just an example. You can do as many days as you wish. You need to enter the passphrase what we create in the step 2. I think it was step 2. So now we got those certificates on another machine, so we need to transfer them to the broker machine. So what we can do, we can use scp to transfer those files. So this is the command. Basically, you need to replace my broker. This is my broker address, IP address. So wherever your broker address is, you're supposed to change it to that one. Password of the broker SSH login. And it goes. Next, we need to send those 2 files as well, so each one. So now we need to go back to our broker and do these steps. Change the permissions for those files, which we just send it to it. I'm already logged in. Then we will need to modify the Mosquitto config file. Save and exit. Restart Mosquitto. If any problems appears with the certificate, if you make a mistake somewhere when you're doing these steps, especially these ones, then more than likely your Mosquitto, when you put this command to restart the Mosquitto, it's either way, or it will be very slow before the line appear again, or it will show you the job fail. So this time I can see straight away go through smooth, so I'm pretty confident it's working just fine. So now we can connect to the broker. Right now I'm connected to the not unencrypted one via port 1122. So say I want to connect to the, I think this is the one. Yeah, I want to connect to this one. So I need to create the TLS configuration. Usually it's come like this. So tick this box, go to configuration. I got, before I done the video, I was trying the configuration from different broker, basically, from different files. So it's here, but I will delete, and I need to upload that CA certificate what I create. So how to get this certificate? You can use SCP to upload to your Windows machine, but sometimes maybe easier to use a SCP app. You can download that app and basically you can log into it and see all the catalogs, all the directories, all is there. So this is what we create on this certificate server. So we got 3 server certificates and we got 2 CA certificates. We need this one to connect our client to our broker. So I move it to my Windows machine like this. Just drag it. And now I'm gonna upload it. Let me upload. You're supposed to upload to this one. But I did try before, and I think whatever you upload to, even if you upload to this one or this one, it still works. It just show you an error, but it's still connected. But this is the right place. CA certificate. Okay, again, let me untick this one for now. One more thing I want to change. And is connected. So now we connected using only the CS certificate, and I could show you on my pfSense. It's all encrypted. Basically, you haven't got a password yet. If you want to have a password, you can have a password. I will say if you're using only CA, then definitely you need to have a password. I don't want to create the password yet, because if something goes wrong when we try to connect with correct client certificates and something doesn't work, then it's just making more awkward to figure out. I will say, before you add any passwords, any more configuration to your broker, make sure all this configuration is work. So if you're trying to keep it only with CA communication, we're good to go and we can add the password. If we want to use the private and certificate from the client, then upload this one first, try it. If it's connecting with no problem, then add the other stuff like password, maybe different config files, different configuration in the config file. So do these steps first. Make sure this TLS SSL is working fine, then you make it more complicated. So we are connected, all good, yes. What is this for? This one basically, I'm using my local domain name, but say you haven't got a Pi-hole which you can create this domain for the broker IP address, or you don't want it. Sometimes you don't really need this, because you can put this. I put just the IP address, not the domain name, and then basically untick this. If you use domain name, you can do this. Tick this box, so it will verify certificate. Basically, what it does, it's verifying this line. This is correct. Because if you put that IP address, into client configuration, the client calling the broker by the IP address instead of calling the broker by the domain name. So the broker understands, oh, the client's supposed to call me MQTT SSL info and it's calling me some 192.168, and this is what it's checking. But okay, another story. In Node-RED you can do this. Basically untick this box and it will work. And if you install on your Linux server basically MQTT client and you're using command line, then you can use insecure option when you're trying to subscribe to topic, and it will work as well. But some devices, if you're trying to do the TLS configuration on the device, you haven't got this option. So if you haven't got the domain name, local domain name, then you will basically not gonna make it. It will never connect. So you can use a Pi-hole, you can use some routers have the option which you can assign a domain name inside the router or a host name, but you need to be aware of this. All your steps will be okay, but because you haven't got that domain name, it will never work. So I hope you understand this part. So let's go. Next, I would like to create the client certificates. So this is what we need to do. First, we need to generate a client key. Then this one, certificate sign request. Don't put anything, just press enter. I just copied this line from the Mosquitto main page. So in this case I will have to type how many days I want to have the certificate valid. So okay, we got those keys now. So what next? I put as well, if you want to have more clients, so you will need to do the same steps. Just make sure you change the files names. So if you say you got one client for Home Assistant, then I will say it's best to put Home Assistant here. Then next client will be Node-RED, separate device, say Node-RED. Then you will put Node-RED and so on. Because later, when you're trying to connect the clients, you will know which one goes where, and then when you add more clients, you will transfer the files, you will get possibly lost. So I think that's common thing with anything you do like this. So next we need to log in again to the Mosquitto Broker and go into the config file. and we need to add one line. Require certificate true. Let's start Mosquitto. Goes through again. Okay. So let me go to SCP again. Refresh. We got client keys and cert. Go to the node-ret. Straight away disconnect us. Once I add this requires certificate. Client cert and client key. And we connect it. So now our broker is fully encrypted. So what next you want to do? May want to do? I'm not sure. Do you need the password for this? Because if you got separate certificate for each client, then basically there's no chance to connect different client. No one got these files basically. But okay, some guys recommend to put this password anyway, so it's up to you. It's very simple job to get this password. Just log to your Mosquitto server, paste this command, then again modify the config file again, add this line in the config file, restart, and should be working with the password. So basically this kind of configuration you can use easily outside of your network. If you need, say, to connect something which is outside of your home, and you will be basically sending information over the internet back to your broker, then basically this is good enough. You just need to open the port 1124 to do so. The only problem is most of the home networks you will probably have the dynamic IP address, which is non-stop changing. So one solution probably will be a DDNS server. I never tried this with DDNS server, but DDNS server basically will cost you some money. I'm not sure how much they ask you now, but I will be not surprised if they ask you about £5 per month to get this service. So I think better solution than getting the DDNS server is to put your MQTT broker in the cloud, rent a virtual plugin server, and install that on the install your broker on that server. So basically you have it in the cloud, you will have straight away a static IP for that server, and then what is best about as well, you can install more services. So you can have it maybe Grafana, maybe Node-RED, maybe OpenVPN on it, maybe WireGuard. I'm using Linode and I get the smallest option, which is 1 GB of processor RAM and 1 core, and I was trying it and I think I installed 5 different services on it. So, and this has cost me about £5 per month. So I think this is better option than trying to use DDNS server. If you, I got Virgin Broadband, which have static IP, so I can do these things, no props. But most other broadband providers never give you the static IP, so I think Virgin is the only one around in UK. So this is your options basically. I think this is all for today's video. In next video I will show you how to install this Mosquitto Broker on a cloud server, because it's pretty the same. We're gonna be using exactly the same certificates. I won't be doing them again. I just upload this certificate what I create for this one. But basically, setting up a server to make it secure, it's a couple of steps, and then it's when you're doing the steps needs to be in certain order. So in next video I show you how to do it on the virtual plugin server in the cloud, so you have comparison and you may have a pick which one you will like to use. So this is today's for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy it, and see you in next video.